Elevate by Far Out and Dark Cloud from somewhere in between extended play 2021. Welcome back to Build Theory. I'm Aurian Archive and I'm picking up on a Willpower Stone Melee that I had never adjusted for the tank changes. And kind of looking over the build that I had rung up, which was Revision 4. And I had decided on going with Fire Blast because the build that's currently in use now has Ice Blast. And Ice Storm on paper looks like it should be a devastatingly powerful attack, especially for a tanker, because it gives a little bit of a debuff, it gives a significant amount of damage and very good average damage over time, very good damage per activation, but its damage per cast cycle is extraordinarily low. And part of that is because of the recharge time. The base recharge time on Ice Storm is 120 seconds, which is twice as much as I think the next longest timer, Stalagmites, at 64 seconds, and nearly 4 times longer than the average 32-second timer on Dark Obliteration or Fireball. Now, I went with Ice Melee because I really like the idea of Ice Storm and then following up Tremor into Ice Storm. But this build just never put down the damage that the paper suggested would. I mean, Ice Storm's recharge time has got to be cratered vastly in order to make up the damage per cast cycle difference. And I don't know if it's been comparatively adjusted to make use of the extra target caps. Looking at in-game are power type, power location, effect area. Don't actually see a target cap listing here for how many enemies it's supposed to be able to hit. Although the way rain powers work, it's supposed to just target on whatever's in the zone. So if it defeats an enemy, it just moves on to the next enemy that's available. This is also why in saturated mobs, say like Cimarera, when you drop a rain power, you'll see some enemies take 1 click of damage. The next enemy will take a click of damage. Then it'll alternate back and forth. Or some enemies won't take any damage at all. That's just the calculations on the server and running into, well, who's close, who's in the area effect, who gets the damage. You're still dealing it out over a range, over the total number of maximum targets, which I think is 16, maybe 10, maybe 12. It doesn't actually say here, but because it's rain, it's supposed to recalculate for every hit. And because of that, in mob saturated environments, which is where tanks usually tend to stay, especially a willpower tank where you're dependent on the amount of enemies feeding your regeneration, Ice Storm just never delivers the damage that the player would expect it to. It's you're caught in the mechanics of how the system is calculating the damage. So in the revision to bring in Vault, which is now a damage power, uh, and I've said before that when Dominator's Fissure was introduced, every fault should have been turned into Fissure that day, and that was over a decade ago. So better late than never. Finally, updating the rest of Stone Melee to the Sensible power. Uh, so the rebuild is bringing in Fault now. Mid-Sierra Reborn has not yet been updated to reflect that Fault is now a damage power. So some of the powers we should be able to slot, which in this case is going to be the Tanker ATO, I'm going for the Absorb proc, won't show in Mid-Sierra Reborn, but I'll be able to slot them in game. Now, another couple of items to go over. If we bring up power, if we bring up combat attributes, if you're noticing the slotting, I'm not that high on some of the resist. I'm only 49 something percent on fire cold resistance. Well, I'm standing in the middle of a 707 fire farm, and I've got +4 X8 enemies. And despite only having middling resist. I'm only at 52% base resist. I'm not dying. That's because, almost entirely due to the regeneration, I'm cranking 139 regeneration per second in the middle of a mob. So this comes back to you want to be in mob saturated environments, and mob saturated environments is where Ice Storm, at least on a tanker, because of its comparatively lower damage compared to another AT using Ice Storm, uh, you just don't put down a damage like you think it should go down. It's the server side calculations are just they're not conducive to mob saturation, allowing you to single out the enemies who are around you. Now, to be fair, other PB AoE powers or targeted AoE powers that do a calculation on who to hit from point of impact, like Dark Obliteration and like Fireball, they're going to run into the same kind of problems. If you're mob saturated, they're going to use server side calculations on who gets hit. You're not necessarily going to hit all of the enemies standing right next to you. You could, but you'll still hit a target number of caps, but you have a much lower recharge time for the power to come back around. You can fire it off more times, and the appreciable uptick on damage is you notice the enemies falling in front of you. Now, your total amount of damage applied, if you're using something like Degenerative Incarnate, which lowers the HP cap and thus lower the regeneration potential of the enemies around you. If you're smacking everything with Degenerative on Ice Storm, you may be able to close the gap, comparatively speaking, to another tertiary TAOE power. You're just not closing it that much. I actually ran Ice versus Dark Obliteration on a Katana Fire Brute. So yeah, so Katana, yes, got the order right. Katana Fire Brute. I did run that, and by my own in-game calculations, and I went and just ran +4x8 ITF. I was on average. Ice Storm was doing, or the Ice Mastery set was doing roughly 35% less damage total compared to Dark Obliteration in the same kind of a check chain. And that was on a damage optimized brute, not a tank. So do keep that in mind. That still kind of says Ice Storm is underdamaged, vastly underdamaged. And it's not necessarily damage itself, it is the recharge time. The formula to determine the recharge time is fundamentally broken. It needs to be fixed. Uh, because if the formula to determine the recharge time is fixed, and it comes down, if Ice Storm comes down to 64 seconds or comes down to a more reasonable 32 seconds, yeah, then we can have a conversation again about whether or not Ice Storm is worth taking over Fireball or Dark Obliteration. Right now, it's not. It's unless you're going for a specific theme and you don't mind doing less damage overall. Hey, fine. Build your perfect archetype. Build what you want to build what you want to play. I mean, I ran Ice Storm for years and didn't take it down because, well, she's a tank. She was a stone melee tank. I mean, she wasn't putting down massive AoE potential to begin with, so losing a little bit more AoE potential, not exactly the biggest game-breaking deal in the world. Well, now Stone's got a bit of a revamp. Hers and Vault's now actually a damage power like it should have been over a decade ago. Well, actually, I think we're getting close to over 2 decades ago. Uh, so, okay, let's start thinking some more about making this more of a damage-centric character. And that's the R4 build. Uh, and so let's kind of just get into it. So let's get out of here. And let's head for a supergroup base. And also, if you're kind of wondering, you skipped Resurgence. If you have a good enough all-round build, there's a lot you can get away with. Now, I am going to be pushing kind of a hefty recharge. So, one of the things I'm kind of looking at is to see whether or not stalagmites in the most recent passes for stone changes, if stalagmites got its recharge brought down to 32 seconds. If it did, if it's now comparable to Fireball and Dark Obliteration that may make Stone Melee, or sorry, Stone Mastery a appreciable counterpart to Stone Melee. You're not taking too much of a punitive damage, and that would better fit the theme of this character. So let's get into our base. And I probably already have most of these enhancements slotted. Well, maybe not the power transfers. And here we go into the respec, and so you can see what I'm doing. We'll bring the game window back up. All right, and we're starting off with high pain tolerance. And then we're going Stone Fist, already selected, Mind over Body. Heavy Mallet, we're skipping Stone Mallet, because at our recharge time, we're not going to need it. And then we're taking Indomitable Will for, this is our anti-mez. And Rise to the Challenge. And we really want to keep an eye on all the powers that are available before 20, because those are the powers that we'll have available as low as Kappa Diablo's Strike Force against the Demon, is what you'll have for Caverns of Transcendence, which is getting both a nerf and a, okay, it was easy mode trial. There's some changes on the way. I'm not in favor of the changes as is, quite simply because those changes punitively hammer small population servers. And I don't think that's a good thing to punish players who are on a small server. All right, so we were at Rise to the Challenge. After Rise to the Challenge, we're taking Fast Healing. And we're not picking up any other damages yet, so we can scoot on. And I was taking Combat Jumping, and I went with Experimentation for Speed of Sound. Okay, where's I want Leaping. And you'll see me with this, with anytime I do Speed of Sound or Super Speed, I always take Combat Jumping, and that is entirely for air control. You gain air control. Now, there have been some changes made to super speed so that you now, when jumping, get some kind of air control. But combat jumping gives you that air control all the time. That's why you see those two powers stacked so often, uh, simply because it's a utilitarian boost. You just can't ignore. When did I take quick recovery? I took it at 32. I took quick recovery after weave. Okay, I probably in this low level area, probably not going to need. We're not doing so great on smashing lethal resistance because tough isn't fully slotted out. Uh, but I with the reach, as I just showed, been plus 4x8 fire, even with middling resistance and fire cold. In this case, this build is somewhere around 49% without the tanker ATO active. Uh, Not really gonna matter. Okay, so we were taking kick at this point. Is there anything else that would be more useful to take? I don't have build up yet. I'm not. Well, if I take taunt down this early, then I can have taunt in Positron Task Force. So okay, all right, taunt. So we'll do a quick skip here of kick to taunt, and not picking up. Did I skip something? Oh, I somehow skipped speed of sound. Whoops. Well, since we're still below 20, we won't worry about it, because that now just moved this to that way. Okay, that's still good. Heightened senses, and then we're picking up vault, and now we'll pick up build up, and now we'll go into our kick tough weave. So fighting, kick, tough, trimmer as early as we can get it, weave, and then we'll do quick recovery. And now we're into our epics. So first thing I want to go do is check Earth Mastery, show detailed intro. Stalagmites recharge time 1 minute 4 seconds. Yeah, no. Let's just do a quick rundown here. Energy Torrent, base recharge time 24 seconds. Fire Mastery, Fireball, recharge time 32 seconds. Ice Storm, 2 minutes, 120 seconds. Earth Mastery, Stalagmites, 1 minute 4 seconds. Soul Mastery, Dark Obliteration, 32 seconds. Mace Mastery, Disruptor Blast, 32 seconds. Leviathan Mastery, Arctic Breath, 32 seconds. Bile Spray, 32 seconds. Moo Mastery, Ball Lightning, 32 seconds. Static Discharge, 24 seconds. Now, Lightning here had a hold in it where I could put the Basilisk Gaze for that easy, uh, easy energy defense. Yeah, I probably would take it. Now, admittedly, I am so far over energy defense that I don't necessarily need Basilisk Gaze to give me that energy defense. Let's just let's turn agility off here for a second. With agility, okay, something is screwy. Because energy negative went from 43 to... Why did it jump so much? Heightened senses. Well, heightened senses give me a lot. $59% to... I feel that those calculations are slightly off. And I'm not sure why. Alright, we'll see how this shakes out then, because that just seems a little high for agility taking me 55%. That is adding a lot of defense buffs. Okay, so uh, since I don't know whether or not I actually need these, we will kind of stay on track. And Soul Mastery, although it gives me Darkest Night, doesn't give me a hold. Earth Mastery gives me a hold, but Stalagmites is out of range. Energy Mastery doesn't give me a hold. Pyro Mastery gives me a hold. Arctic Mastery gives me a hold, but Ice Storm needs to be rebalanced. Ice Storm and Stalagmites need to be balanced, not rebalanced. They need to be balanced because right now neither one are balanced. All right, Mace Mastery does give me a hold. I think no, Web Envelope is an immobilize. Doesn't give me a hold, and I would have to mitigate the knockback. Leviathan Mastery, immobilize, and Moo Mastery. Okay, so I'm pretty much stuck between Earth and Pyre. Pyre is what I originally spec'd up, and Pyre is at least somewhat balanced, so we'll go ahead and stick with Pyre. So Char, Seismic Smash as soon as we can get it, and then we're taking Maneuvers, which is Leadership, Maneuvers, and actually we probably could swap Maneuvers and Char, because Char is not a damage power. So we're going to go ahead and make that change. Leadership, Maneuvers, Seismic Smash, and now we'll go for Pyre Mastery Char, Fire Blast, Fireball, Strength of Will. Alright, High Pine Tolerance is getting all the way out. Mind over Body is getting 5. Indomitable Will. It's getting 5. Alright, so challenge all the way out. Fast healing all the way out. Heightened senses 1, 2, 3, 4. Quick recovery 2. Strength of will none. Stone fist 5 for hecatomb. Heavy mallet 5. Taunt none. Fault going all the way out. Build up none. Tremor all the way out. Seismic smash all the way out. Health 1, 2, 3. Hurdle none. Swift none. Stamina none. Combat jumping none. Speed of sound 1. Kick none. Tough none. Weave 1, 2, 3. Maneuvers 1, 2, 3. Char 1. Fire blast all the way out. Fireball. Okay, I have an extra slot somewhere. Where did I get happy? Heightened senses 4. Indomitable will 5. High pain tolerance 6. Mind over body. Oh, mind over body is 4. There's our extra slot. Okay. And this was obviously a scaling build. It doesn't look like I'm actually using any Aegis this go around. And what do I have? Oh, I went that deep for 5% psionic. And with agility off, since I still don't know, I think that just feels like agility is adding too much defense. Because I'm not sure that I should be in 50-something% fire cold. So we're going to go ahead and leave Fire Blast at 6. And I need to keep that in mind when thinking about a different build. Alright, Annihilation, we're not using this go around. Gaussian build up into build up. Gladiator's armor into strength of will. Kismet into indomitable will. Luck of the gambler proc into indomitable will. Luck of the gambler proc into heightened senses. Luck of the gambler proc into weave, and luck of the gambler proc into combat jumping. Numi proc going into fast healing. Overwhelming force we're using in tremor. And we're using panacea proc in fast healing. Taunt. The taunt preventative medicine into rise to the challenge. And then reactive defense is scaling defense is going into indomitable will. And then regenerative tissue is going into health. No, wait, need to go back up. And we have a shield wall is going into maneuvers. Alright, steadfast protection, resist defense, going into high pain tolerance. We're not using you guys this go around. Unbreakable guard, it's got to be going into mind over body. Not using a stun this time. Aegis, I don't think we're using Aegis anywhere. Wait, resistance endurance can go into tough. And Gaussian, we're not using the Gaussian proc this go around, so we can just, well, the other Gaussians. Bring this up. Gladiator's armor resistance. Right now, we'll go ahead and tentatively put this into high pain tolerance because I've already got. We got heal endurance, heal recharge, and we got a +5 resistance I've already got. Let's see. And we're using the proc on strength will. So since I've got it, it's already plus. We'll put Gladiator's armor's resistance there. Hecatomb. Hecatomb's going on Stone Fist. And that way our damage proc will give Stone Fist well, actually Stone Fist is no longer crap on damage, so still good place to have it. Luck of the Gambler, defense endurance. Looks like we are using that on Indomitable Will. We got defense endurance recharge. We may need a couple more of those. Namina's Convalescence, healing absorb endurance is going on to high pain tolerance. Healing absorb endurance is going on to health. Healing absorb going on to high pain tolerance. Healing absorb going on to health. Healing absorb another one. Panacea healing absorb. It's got to go on fast healing. And healing absorb recharge. You needed. I need to get another one. Alright, so we'll put the. And our Ragnarok is going on Fireball. We're not using Hasten this go around, so I probably don't need the Stamina. Well, since we go ahead and got it, might as well put it there. Invention resist damage. Run speed increase on. Excuse me, Swift. Run speed increase onto Sprint. Defense endurance. Going on to maneuvers. Defense endurance recharge. And I think. Okay, we're also using shield wall on heightened senses. Alright, so defense endurance onto heightened senses. Defense endurance recharge on the heightened senses. Defense on the heightened senses. Alright, there we go. And now we can take these others off and run them up here. Alright, Winter's Gift. Onto Speed of Sound. Alright. And since I want to sell these single origins later, we'll just run them up into the inventory bar. Alright, Avalanche is going on Trimmer, and we are skipping the chance for knockdown. Alright, Blistering Cold is going on to Seismic Smash. Looks like I need to pick up an extra Blistering Cold, because it looks like I don't have an accuracy damage on here. Okay. Alright, Hecatomb going all the way up to Stonefist. Heavy Mallets getting. Alright, now do I want to put the resist proc on Heavy Mallet, or do I want to put the resist proc on Fault? Well, if I'm going up against a hardened target, I'm going to be using Heavy Mallet all the time. Probably not going to be using Fault very much against non-hardened targets, so right offhand, Heavy Mallet is still going to be the best place to put. And we probably won't need to recharge Winter's Bite. I don't think I'm using Winter's Bite now. So Winter's Bite can go into the tray. And for Fault. And again, not sure I need a damage recharge, so we'll go with accuracy damage. Because our recharge time on Fault, base recharge is 10 seconds. It's going to be down to 10 seconds, and I haven't finished slotting everything. So Mind Over Body still needs some. Indomitable Will still needs some. Yeah, Fast Healing still needs the rest of those Panaceas. Alright, so we've got some more recharge coming. This probably is going to be what I want. So let's bring the game window back down and finish this up. Yes, all enhancements will be locked in. And now we'll do a clear tray. Would help if I could spell it correctly. And the reason why I didn't save the previous UI was that some of this is definitely changing. All right, high power tolerance is an auto, so we'll start with Mind Over Body, Indomitable Will, Rise to the Challenge, Heightened Senses. Not that we need it, but we'll put. All right, Strength of Stone Fist, Heavy Mallet, Seismic Smash. We're going to move these down. We're going to use Fault now as our opener. Build Up, Taunt, Fire Blast, Fireball. And we still need Tremor in here. Having Charm, Maneuvers, Tough, Weave, Speed of Sound, Jaunt, Combat Jumping, Sprint. There we go, we got all those powers in place. Incarnate abilities, Judgment, Assault, get our lures up there. I'm still not sure about Strength of Will being. So I don't want to put it where it's going to be easily clicked, but I don't want to have it where it's rely on this. Oh, ageless. Okay, there we go. I think I'm more happy with that. Okay. Let's go ahead and some of these enhancements I'm just going to put on the auction house. Alright, did any of these I really need to keep? Yeah, the PvPs. And we'll do a quick search for, do I have any Panaceas in store? Alright, and I needed a, well, Healing Absorb Endurance, Healing Absorb Recharge, and Healing Absorb. Okay, Healing Absorb Endurance. Healing Absorb Endurance Recharge. Well, that was, Alright, Healing Absorb Endurance Recharge. We'll go there. I just need Healing Absorb Endurance and Healing Absorb Recharge. Healing Absorb Endurance. Healing Absorb Recharge. Okay, there we go. And now for Indomitable Will. We need a Defense Endurance Recharge Luck of the Gambler. Luck of the Gambler, Defense Increase Global, Endurance Recharge. What do I have in the way of converters? Not a whole lot of converters. Did I leave myself any converters in the boosters? Well, I am going to need those. Boosters and converters. Okay. Admittedly, I'm pretty sure I left them there for the Darkstone Brute, but it's not like my Brute can rush in and clonk the Willpower upside the head. I mean, the Brute's welcome to try. I'm not sure she'd get very far. Alright. I do have an Impervious Skin, Resistance Regeneration, which will go right there. And we can... Alright, I needed to... A Numi Heal Recharge. Before I start converting, let's make sure I don't have one. Namina, Endurance Recharge, Healing Absorb, Endurance, Healing Absorb, Regeneration Recovery. Okay, I do not have a Numi Healing Recharge, so we'll go ahead and work on you. Healing Absorb Recharge. Okay, there we go. Healing Absorb Recharge. I don't need the Gaussian, so we can go ahead and toss them. I don't need this Aegis, I don't think. So we can go and toss you in here and look at Unbreakable Guards. I need, resistance, endurance. I got a resistance, endurance recharge. And some of these are already plussed, so woohoo. Resistance, endurance recharge. Okay. Purple stun can go into here. I want to hang on to that annihilation. Well, I want to hang on to it, but I got a rack full of... never mind. It's going on the auction house. I have, like, how many is that? Actually, you know what? I'm going to go put these, non... in non-tuned versions on the auction house, because at least clears them out of inventory. Okay, so let's get back to... I needed a defense endurance recharge. Luck of the Gambler. We'll try and come from this endurance recharge, because I don't think I ever use endurance recharge very often. There we go. That was painless for once. All right, we need a sudden acceleration, which should be in here. Sudden acceleration, knockback. Oh, there's one that's already... We'll grab one that's already attuned. And we'll do insect conversion. Knockback to knockdown. Slam you on fault. And then we'll check special for blistering cold. Got an accuracy damage. Yep, that's what I need, accuracy damage. And we'll go ahead and catalyze you up. All right, that's full. What else do I need? Healing, power transfer. All right, power transfer, endurance modification. I don't see any procs, but how many damage endurance mods am I sitting on? None actually, so damage recharge. Oh, I was sitting on that. I am sitting on those as well, so keep going. Damage endurance modification. Damage recharge. Chance to heal. Okay, and we'll put those on quick recovery, chance to heal. And we'll go ahead and catalyze, chance to heal. Okay, catalyzed. We need a Winter's Gift proc, and we need a chance. Well, I don't need, but I'm going to put one in, force feedback. We'll go ahead and catalyze you. Okay, and I want Winter's Gift, and yeah, I got plenty of Winter's Gift procs. Winter's Gift, and we'll go ahead and catalyze it. All right, Weave. I needed Defense Endurance and Defense Endurance Recharge. I already had a +5 Defense Endurance, so we'll go for our second Endurance Recharge. I'm doing good on procs. Defense Endurance Recharge. So Defense Endurance Recharge. We'll go ahead and catalyze the... I'm not sure why that can be plussed, but apparently it can. Alright, so that just leaves Char and Fire Blast. And I need a... Before I do that, we're going to go throw these two in here. And now we'll start with... I'm pretty sure I don't have either Baseless Gaze that I need in stock. Nope, all I've got is an accuracy hold, so I'll have to go buy them on the market or buy them with reward merits. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Alright, so we're starting with APOC. APOC damage, APOC accuracy recharge. See if I got any APOCs in here. Proc, damage endurance reduction, damage recharge accuracy. Alright, damage, recharge accuracy, proc, endurance, damage recharge accuracy. Well, let's go ahead and slot these. Damage all the way out. Recharge accuracy. There. Proc here. Damage endurance reduction. Damage recharge accuracy. We just need a damage recharge, which I've got one. Alright, so now this means all I need now is the Baseless Gaze. So we'll go ahead and come over to Special and put in our EOs and Superior ATOs. And everything else we can go through on the auction house and see if we got any Baseless Gaze. Did I specify which two Baseless Gazes I wanted? Let's look. Take our Willpower Stone. Baseless Gaze. Looks like I specified Endurance Recharge Hold and Accuracy Endurance Recharge Hold. I think I did that because the endurance cost on tertiary powers is broken. Well, I remember when one of the reasons why you would take, why you would even consider taking Willpower, because it's not an offensively oriented or even a very defensively oriented set to not build IOs for. It doesn't really do a lot for the player. I mean, you can just make a costume, and your costume it gets to stand out, not the powers. But anyways, being able to contain and use tertiary powers on a regular basis was a big driving force between Willpower's quick recovery. And yes, I know I didn't actually have to walk all the way over to the auction house. I could have just done AH where I was standing. We've already sold some stuff. So let's sell some more stuff. And yes, I know, if you put something that's +5 on the auction house, the +5 is stripped away. But since I can't put the +5 on anything else, and I rarely ever have a use, this was like the only Willpower is the only build I had where I even had crafted invention that's not part of a set. So, and we already sold some of those. Didn't sell them for that much, but I didn't put them on for that much. Sometimes I am, in fact, into wish fulfillment. I know, odd, isn't it? Yeah, let's see. So we needed accuracy, endurance reduction hold, and I'm probably going to be spending 10 million. Not really a big concern. Okay, we got our accuracy, endurance hold, endurance reduction recharge holds. And yeah, if you're looking at the influence count, you're going like, yeah, you're not worried about spending cash on that. Not really. Okay, so we had the act first, then the end. And there we go. We are slotted, so let's go fire up a 707 again. Actually, before I go much further, I'm going to go visit Icon and think about a color scheme change to better reflect her fire powers. I'm thinking doing highlights in orange. Uh, since I haven't... Okay, there we go. There's our Fireball Blast. Yeah, old costumes. She's not that far removed from them. Alright, we're going to bring her height up a little bit. Alright, and let's see, upper body gloves. And you can see I did elemental order. Alright, let's first of all have a look at our pool and epic powers and see what our pyre mastery can look like. Let's do bright fire and uh, blue. I actually kind of like how that looked, but it doesn't really fit her. I look more radioactive. Okay, she is a stone melee. What's my stone look like? Alright, her stone fist, she's doing green. We've got a green and white color scheme. And we got slight tinges of red on the boots. So I think what I want to do is tinge off of that red in the boots. So let's come back to the gloves and alright, and let's go with that for the red. And do we want to do an orange or continue with the green? Maybe a more obnoxious green. Maybe the same green that's on the face. Okay. Let's see how that looks on the boots. Lower body, boots. And we did red. And we did soft green. Okay, now for those bottom legs. We got mesh. Oh, that's not so great. Upper body, gloves. I really like the way that pops more. Lower body, boots. Do we have a back detail? Not yet. Or let's invert those. Let's come back up. Boots. Uh, let's do this as red and this is green. Okay, now that's fading in the lights at the bottom. These are red and this is green. Uh, okay, the red on the bottom I think stands out a little bit more. So we still got that. I think we're losing something in here in the transition to the leggings. So let's think about something different. And no, not intentionally designing a Christmas-themed character. It's either that or it's like I kind of like how that's working, but I'm not sure it's really fitting her. Let's go back and look at our fire. Bright as the sun. Desaturated. Ooh, white lightning. Let's change that to a red. No, let's change that to our green. Does that look like dark? No. Let's darken that up a bit. I like the blue. I like adding in the orange. What does that look like if I turn that green? Not feeling it. Lighter blue? Oh, I actually kind of like that effect. Let's change this up. Oh. Oh, now we got... I think I can do that coloring on the crystals. So the blue and magenta. Oh yeah, there we go. I really like how that's working up. So we're gonna match that color scheme across all our powers. Gonna skip you, experimentation, minimal FX. Although, let's just see what this looks like. Oh, alright. Leaping, minimal FX, primary, secondary. Okay, let's see what nice success looks like. Okay, so now we've got a magenta highlight going on. Oh, that doesn't look quite as good. Uh, nope. Yeah, the no weapon sets aren't so great. Okay, so we've got a light blue magenta theme going on. So let's come back to our. We'll start with the boots and work our way up. We have light blue and magenta for our powers. All right, a little bit of green there. How's that look? Okay, I actually kind of like that. Let's do this on so lime green and magenta on the gloves. All right, we're starting with green and magenta. Check our values. Okay, there we go. Okay. Now let's do something about that lower body. Want to keep those boots bottom. We did metallic. Let's have magenta be our highlight, and we're staying with the dark green up. I actually really liked Savage because it seemed to continue from the boots on up. Okay, now for our skirt shorts. We did mini and bridle so they would fit under. See what this looked like. Now we'll hang with the dark green for that for now. Bridle. And we'll leave it on the bridle pattern for now because that fit with the top of the costume. So upper body, sleeveless robe. All right, we did dark green and white. Let's change this white to our magenta. Mm, let's change this to our. I'm not so sure that white's our best offset color now. So we need something that better offsets it. All right, so green. Let's see, according to a color table, it'd be best going off with a light blue or a purple. Magenta and green, yeah, light blue or a dark purple. So let's go for. Let's do it on the lower body first with that mini skirt. We'll do a highlight in. Oh, whoops, no, not the highlight. We'll do a highlight in light blue. Light blue gets kind of washed out. Light blue and Whoa, that gets really washed out. What happens if we change this to light blue? Sky blue, maybe. Just gets washed out, I think. Let's do the primary in purple. All right, now I have that in light blue. Okay. Upper body. Let's go with light blue. All right, but now we have clashing on the color on the lower side, so let's swap them. Let's make you the edging light blue, and let's make the robe magenta. All right, now we have clear through on the legs. And let's go back to our lower body and do bottom. Change this to the light green going up. Light green blue. Okay, let's change our lower body skirt shorts. Let's do that skirt magenta. And now what happens if we do this in our green? Okay, let's work on that belt. Upper body belt, butterfly tassel. Do we want to keep that, or do we want to change it to something else? Does anything not clip? Clip, clip, clips. All right, we'll stick with butterfly tassel even though it clips. It's almost annoying how much it clips like that. Of course, now she's looking more like another character with a decorated. Basically becoming a palette swap version. Go with that darker purple. Okay, if I can... I think I may need to do a cape covering. So we're doing... Okay. I am not sure how to get the Cosmic Corsair to inherit colors, but I thought it inherited them from the cape, but it's looking like it just doesn't want to do that. Okay. I'm kind of happy with that. I like the style. I'll worry about the color inheriting later. I may have to hand edit that. So gloves. Kind of happy with the gloves. Sleeves. Okay, chest detail. What's going on here? Gloves, elemental order, belt, robe, sleeves, sleeveless, chest. Oh, there we go. Change that to magenta. Okay, or do we want to go with the royal purple? All right. Actually, I really like that with the royal purple. Let's go back to our lower legs. To that bottom. Let's swap this for darker purple. Okay, now we've got a nice, good color offset going on. All right, let's roll back up. And we'll leave her sleeveless. We'll leave it Cosmic Corsair 2. And we're rocking Carnival of War, so I guess we've decided to change. Actually, we're going to go with that. It does not stand out at a distance, so we'll go with magenta. And detail 1, Carnival of Light. So we'll do light blue for the fire. We'll leave the hair as the dark green. All right, and ears. Thing is, kitty ears don't really work with this. Uh, the teddy ear and wildcat ears just ram right into it. So we'll leave her with human ears. Hair, we'll leave it with rapturous. I don't really have a reason to change that. Back detail. We'll look at backpacks for a second. And we'll look at Cybertech spine. I think I'd have to go redo the hair to make the Cybertech spine fit, so let's not worry about that. Jetpacks. Yeah, I don't think so. Asymmetrical mantle. Okay, we won't worry about a cape then. I'm not sure. I'm not sure she's the kind of character who would wear a cape. Okay, let's do something about those shoulders. I did warrior. Let's disconnect our shoulders from each other. Actually, I really like that. Retro sci-fi. Round her arms. How does she hold her mallets? I think she's right. Yeah, she's right-handed for the most part. All right. So coming back to on the left shoulder, kind of have an idea of Maybe a little high there. Maybe Valkyrie 1. Gladiator. Actually, she might be the kind. Okay, we want the wings to be blue. And we'll make this, how's it look in magenta? Too overkill? What about green? Green doesn't show it off very well. Let's pick up the same green from below. Try this in, no, that just doesn't stand out. Alright, in the edging blue, let's go primary green. And do the wings in magenta. Okay, I think that actually looks okay. And now let's go look at our right shoulder. I really like those rings around her arm. That's your sci-fi. And we'll make these blue. Okay, so now we have a cacophony. Still not sure about this bridle in the middle. Thinking we need to clean it up. Make that the same color of blue as up top. Or just change it. Yeah, but almost anything else I take in here. Alright. Oh, that doesn't really fit with the Cosmic Corsair top. It's like trying to find something that doesn't clip. Blue. Huh. Um, since the bridle is dark purple, problem is the belt is also dark purple, so now the pants get lost in the belt. I could reverse that, but then the belt doesn't really separate there, so I need her. I mean, is there anything else I could change these into and keep? Nah, not really, and keep the style. And if I take those so far down, I mean, the Valkyrie kind of works, but there's some clipping on the sides. Circle of Thorns definitely doesn't work. Talon Skirt does not give us any clipping. Actually, I almost like that. The Victorian, oh, that gives us clipping down at the boots. Retro Sci-Fi gives us clipping. Barbarian Fur gives us clipping. So, like, if I could get this top without this robe, And can I get a... My robe is Cosmic Corsair. Can I get a chest with Cosmic Corsair? Uh, let's go tight real quick. Chest. Chest detail. I'm not seeing Cosmic Corsair as an option. Jackets, jackets. Cybertech, cybertech. Don't have Corsair as an option. Trench coat, that's just jackets again. Bolero, no thanks. And I just lost all of the coloring. So we had magenta and light blue. And we had light blue and magenta. So let's ditch the blue and just go with, what's the green on the boots? The gloves. Gloves is that green. So chest, robe, that green. Yeah, let's simplify it by taking out the blue. And the last place where I had blue, okay, left shoulder. All right, right shoulder, retro sci-fi, glow, green, magenta. So let's do magenta primary and then green. Okay, left shoulder. We wanted magenta on the wings. And we're doing that green. Okay, that fits down. Okay, so let's go all the way back up to our head. We're dropping the blue and simplifying back. So you can be magenta. We're keeping the dark green for her hair, and we're keeping the royal purple. So we have light green, magenta, royal purple. Let's go look at our belt next. Dark green is an option. Let's check our hair. Our hair is forest green. So upper body, belt. Let's go forest green and well, magenta. Not too much. Royal purple. So we now can do the lime green. I know. We'll do that as purple and a highlight and our lime green. There we go. And then we'll do trimmer. And that gets our belt sorted out. Although it's still not inheriting the... We're just going to have to give her a cape for right now and hope that on a costume save it picks up. Let's have a look at the capes we got available. Alright, and we want a little too loud. Alright. Actually, we'll do royal purple. green on the outside. There we go. It actually doesn't look so bad. Maybe need to tone that down a bit. Or make it, that was what, left shoulder? No, right shoulder, glow, standard. It doesn't really glow like that. It's like trying to match it to this color here and just not happening. If we, no. I mean, I almost kind of like that, but it just doesn't make it stand out any. So, keeping it muted like that. Yeah, it looks fine. I think that's getting into some color matching here. Okay, so now we still have the lower body to deal with. I really like the talons, except for the fact it clips into the boots. Or that's not the talons, the victory. The talons doesn't clip. What's it look like in dark purple? I mean, in the magenta, it seems to kind of go along with the rest of the outfit. Actually, I kind of like that. Let's see what this looks like in motion. Up top, yeah. We're doing okay up top. Doesn't look too busy. Thinking about offsetting that hair, that back hair to say, hey, well, no, if I go purple, purple, it'll hang in with the cape. If I go lime green, it'll get lost in everything else below it. Let's see if we can select any different hairstyles without breaking the costume. I'm kind of looking for anything with two-toned on it. View mode, two-tone. I use that one all the time, so. Serrated sugar. Shag. Gamine, I use gamine all the time. Resistance, I use all the time. Long. I have so many characters with glam, it's not even funny anymore. Divine looks alright. Oh, that clashes with the cape. Does Mimi look up front? Mimi looks okay. Okay, I'm kind of going back to Mimi. And now if I put a Cybertech spine on, white hair, my hair with magenta highlights. Oh, let's go with the raw. No, those don't stand out. That really doesn't stand out. Okay, let's go with the purple base and white highlights. No, keep her white base hair. Um, Keeping that hair coloring in mind. Uh, oh, no, it clips up top. No, serrated sugar clips as well, but not that badly. See what she looks like in motion. All right, we're going to bring out the green. Yeah, that's a good green. Okay, I like that. Let's go back to the Taylor, auras, runes, and effect, body and eyes, effect color, we're on. Let's go for, see how this looks. Can I get a desaturated green? Oh, woof. Okay, let's go all the way back to Pyre. A little bit more green into it. Maybe desaturate it a bit now. Okay. We can go with that. Inherent. While I'm here, quickly, minimal effects on all of these. Bright. Bright. Minimal effects. Other. Okay. Still did inherent on the front. And in case you're wondering about um, having lost the costume that she was wearing, if we go to Tailor, load, it's kind of, she's a base stock costume, so wasn't too worried about losing it. I don't think I ever saved her powers though, but oh well. Actually, kind of growing fonder of that cape. Yeah, but no one around I can show this off to right now. Alright, but I've got some boosts to throw on. Hey, people. Oh, I should probably turn on the rest of my powers. That would probably be a very good idea. Alright, and now we'll roll Tremor up. And now we'll get started on the plussing. Alright, you need to be plussed. And this is kind of something that I do to make sure I don't accidentally use Catalyst when I mean to use boosters. If you keep the prompt on when using Catalyst, but you turn the prompt off when you use boosters, you can click right through boosters to +5 really quickly and just exit out when you reach the end. And we can get going very, very quickly this way. Trimmer's good. That's good. Those are all good. That's good. Weave. That's good. Leadership's good. Sure. Now see here when I use on the proc, use the catalyst, it acts, and this at least should hopefully minimize the amount of time that you use the one you didn't mean to use. Alright, keeping in mind that Apocalypse gives me a psionic defense. To keep that in mind when going back and looking at my uh, stone or dark stone brute. Because rather than trying to sneak in Soroka's Dervish, I get better boosts out of Apocalypse, or if I can use Apocalypse instead, I still get 5% defense sonic boost, so that's be good. Alright, I think everything now is catalyzed. It needs to be catalyzed. Everything's. And reason why I riced at a challenge is catalyzed is uh on the original build was really just a scaling build, and I wanted more recharge up and down and as much healing as you got it as healing absorb, healing recharge, healing absorb, healing absorb. There wasn't a whole lot of performance difference between catalyzed and uncatalyzed. Now, I could scrape out a little bit more performance doing that. But a quick look over this particular build, and most of my defenses are not built into um, sets that have boosters on them. Uh, I do have some melee defense here, but since I wasn't soft capped to smashing lethal to begin with, that I don't think was very important. Uh, and my biggest thing would be HP caps, which I'm doing pretty good on shield wall. It looked like the only set where I had a significant amount in defense defensive boost would be Char, which is a level 30 to begin with, so not such a big deal there. All right, let's bring up our powers first, and we'll look at incarnate abilities. I am running Agility Radio Paragon. Let's check my combat attributes. Base, we're currently at 3.039 hit points. We're nowhere near uh, tanker cap, so I got another 500 to go. So if someone hits me with Frostwork, it's not entirely wasted. I'm rocking back 152 HP per second. Before previously, I was running what was it, 139, so significant boost on regeneration. Recovery with all toggles active, including travel. We're uh, rocking a 1.54 endurance drain on 3.99 endurance return. I do not even have all of the accolades yet. I've only got task force commander on her, so those numbers will improve. Recharge time, we're rocking 86% recharge bonus. Rolling down movement. Right now, our maximum running speed is apparently rocketing back and forth between 100 and something and 23 uh, as the travel limitations skip in and out. All right, damage resistance. Again, right now I'm only running 75% resistance, smashing lethal, 49% to fire cold. I'm plus 4x8 with bosses, so whoop-de-doo. Energy resistance, not so great. Sonic resistance, really, really good. Going down, looking at our defenses. All right. Right now, with everything up, I'm 49 to fire cold, 47 to energy negative. Smashing lethal is 40. So there is a bug of some kind. This is the most recent rendition of Mid-Zero Report, and I just updated it before starting this. So we've got some kind of bug uh, that's pushing defensive values where they shouldn't be when Agility Core is selected. I'm not sure why it's doing that. Uh, but I am where I wanted to be in relation to Fire Cold, and where I wanted to be in relation to energy, negative energy. I am high enough that on Smashing Lethal, where if somebody else is assisting me or I'm popping purples, I probably could solo tank Lord Recluse. Uh, I would have to bring him close to a tower, but definitely, definitely close to being able to solo hold off Lord Recluse. So I'm happy with that. I'm just kind of looking over this and trying to figure out what. Why is agility core being calculated as giving such a big boost? And since I am pushing so close on over on fire cold, do I really is there anything I'm rocking here that's just for fire cold defense? I don't think so. I think that's sort of like maybe I could give up oh no, I don't have 5% clearance. So no. Alright. And let's crank some damage up. Let's mix it up with fault. Trimmer. And I'm not doing so badly. Getting a metric ton of misses on fault. Not sure why it's missing like that, but whatever. Uh, Overall, nice changes to Stone Melee. I'm not sure why fault is missing like that. And if you're looking at the endurance consumption going, oh, it's dropping really, really fast, aren't you? Willpower, yeah, the two things. First of all, I'm still running the travel power. And again, don't have all of the accolades. And I am laying on the tertiary for some of that AoE defense. I turn off the travel power. My endurance return shouldn't be so bad. Holy cow! I looked at the live tracker and realized that I'm at 1 hour and 42 minutes on this stream. So apparently, getting lost in the costume creator spent a significant amount of time. It's like I normally try to keep these streams to like an hour, and even the homecoming devs have said they really don't like the longer streams because I shot back at them that you don't like having things explained to you. Yeah, if I'm having to explain things to you, you screwed up badly. It really is that simple. So since I'm already so long, why ageless other than for the recharge? Well, mostly it's for the debuff resistance. There's not, like, bring up powers, do combat attributes again, and scroll down and let's look at our debuff resistance. Is don't have a lot here. Okay, I have some recharge time resistance and some defense resistance and some regeneration resistance. Um, but I get so much more cranking ageless, where I cap the regeneration resistance, cap the recharge time resistance, cap the defense resistance, cap the recovery resistance. Going up against Lord Recluse in a single tower hold, uh, those resistances are vital. So being able to rock ageless and stave off channel gun is very, very important. And that's really all I got. We'll kind of just leave her here, and I guess we'll be back. I'm Aurian Archive.